So you really shouldn't buy the Apple Watch Ultra because, well, there's some issues with this watch. One is, if you look closely, you'll notice that my ECG or EKG app is missing, and my camera control app is also missing. And that's because when you set this watch up, what happens is, if you set it up for yourself, it won't allow you to add a phone number. It will automatically pair it with the phone, with the number that's on your phone that you're pairing it to. And then if you go behind that and try to add a cellular line, like say a line from T-Mobile or one of the other major carriers, it will, the software in it from Apple, not from the carriers, will block you from adding a SIM line. If you set the watch up for someone else or for a family member, and this is called the Apple Watch setup, what happens is the Apple Watch will allow you to do so, but it will also force you to create an Apple ID. So you'll be forced to create a new Apple ID and add that Apple ID as a family member, when in essence, you're creating a fake Apple ID for you to use your own watch. But it will allow you to add a cellular line to the watch, but they will nerf the watch and remove certain functions or certain apps from the watch. But also, when you go to receive text messages or phone calls or anything like that, what will happen is this. You might get a phone call or text message out and you'll be able to make phone calls, but text messages from your phone won't go to the watch and vice versa. But you lose cellular capability when you set the watch up for yourself. So if you leave your phone at home, you don't have cellular capability with the Apple Watch. And a lot of people don't really understand that or fully understand it. So if you get a text message to your phone, and also you can't have this as a device that operates by itself. So it won't be like, oh, I left my phone at home, let me just use my Apple Watch. That functionality will work. But if you want to text somebody from the number from your Apple Watch, you can't do that. You want to call somebody from the number from your Apple Watch, you can't do that. That number will be paired to your phone number. So it'll look like you're calling from your phone instead of actually calling from the actual number that's paired to your device. But when you set it up for a family member, you can call from the number that's actually paired to your device. Now, if you go to T-Mobile, what they will do is they will pair that number from the carrier to your number on your phone. So the number that they put on the device, they'll pair it to your phone. Then at that point, what's the point of having a number on it? It doesn't make any sense. So I'm one of those people, and I know what I said sounds a little confusing, but one of the main takeaways is you lose functionality when you set it up for a family member. So they strip certain apps away. And then when you set it up for yourself, you lose the ability to add a phone number to the Apple Watch. You're forced to pair it to your phone. It's highly annoying, highly aggravating. I just spent a literal day over the last couple of days, and I mean in hours spent trying to get this thing to work properly, the way it should, the way other Apple Watches have in the past. You can just add a number to the Apple Watch and it would work if you set it up as a standalone device. All of these new ones, they changed the software. If you haven't noticed, in like the last 3 days, they put out 2 Apple Watch updates, one of which I think was because of me. And I'm saying that because I had to reset this Apple Watch like around 20 times. And each one of those times, a ticket was generated and sent to Apple and my carrier, T-Mobile. Highly annoying. I'm clearly part of the Apple ecosystem. I've been buying into their products for years. I have the first iPhone all the way up to the one we have now, including the lesser C models. So I know what I'm talking about when I'm adding cellular lines, functionality, and GPS, Find My Watch, all of that stuff. And because this is set up a certain way, Find My Watch doesn't work properly either. So if you set this up on a second Apple ID, they don't always connect to all your stuff, and you can't always see the location for this, even when the devices are right next to one another. Also, this has trouble pairing to the MacBook. Not pairing, but connecting to the Bluetooth. They don't even want you to do that. The MacBook used to recognize my phone, my other phone, and they would try to pair to one another, and they would work somewhat. And then they took that functionality away with an update. So my take on this is do not buy the Apple Watch Ultra. Wait for them to fix it in an update or something. Do not spend the money. It is not worth it. I have had it less than 14 days, and I'm very tempted to return it and get my money back and go buy something else. Like, because of Apple not listening to their customer base, I'm super tempted to just leave the Apple ecosystem and go to Android or whatever competitor they have. Really not happy with the service I've been receiving. Even their customer service is super annoying. Like, getting somebody on the phone, they actually stopped their 24-hour customer service. So after like 10, 11 o'clock at night, anywhere in the United States in that time zone, you won't get anybody on Apple Tech or Apple Care or any kind of customer service or tech support. You won't receive it. You will have to wait until the next day at the start of business hours, which again, this is a billion-dollar corporation, multi-billion-dollar corporation. You can afford to pay people to work 24-hour shifts. Just saying. Don't spend the money. The reason why I bought this, it was a gift to myself because I am a CDL driver. So that means I'm driving Class A vehicles. And if anybody knows what that means, you know how dangerous that job is. It is one of the top 10 dangerous professions in America. Because I'm going to be driving in rural areas, I needed something that was going to work. That's why I bought this 14 Pro Max 1 terabyte phone, and then I bought the Apple Watch to go with it, and I also bought a pack of AirPods and a bunch of AirTags and a few other things because the phone has a satellite uplink, and the GPS on the Apple Watches continue to work even when they don't have cellular service. So that's one of the things I like about it, but also because I'm going to be a driver, that means I'm going to be driving through the desert, mountains, and other dangerous terrain and not have cell service. That being the case, I need something that I'm going to be able to use and not take my eyes off the road. That is one of the leading causes of accidents for people in America. Drivers of cars, bikes, motorcycles, trucks, whatever, it's the leading cause of accidents. So because of that, I bought something that I thought was going to work properly. And the use case I'm going to be using it for would be considered an extreme use case. Whether or not it's for an athlete or not, the use case I'm putting it under would be considered extreme use case. So that being said, Apple, you need to fix that. Everybody else, hold them accountable. This is a software issue. They made this like this on purpose. They did this like this on purpose. It can easily be fixed with a few keystrokes. This is not something that, it's just like that. It's a hardware limitation. This is a software lock. They did that on purpose. And anybody that's used Apple Watches before in the past will know what I'm talking about. Do not spend the money. I just covered up my Apple ID with the hotel remote. That's my vest over there, by the way, for when I'm driving and I'm in the yard. But again, do not spend the money on the Apple Watch. You will regret it until they fix this software issue.